Good afternoon. We're Group 7 from Principles of Financial Engineering. Today we will talk about blockchain, NFT, and cryptocurrency. Blockchain is a chain network of blocks used to record transactions among individual users without a centralized organization in control. The technology can be applied in many areas, including monetary transfers, copyright protection, digital ID, or data sharing. There are several features of the blockchain technology that differ from the traditional business networks: immutability, distributed ledger technology, and decentralized identity. Decentralization is the key to blockchain technology. In case of traditional businesses, most digital transactions are made under the control of a centralized authority. Taking monetary transactions as an example, money transfers proceed with the underlying central bank's banking system. That is, the bank operates as an arbitrator that watches over and gains transactors' personal information and transaction history while the transaction is made. Users do not have control over how such personal records will be used, which leads to insecurity of privacy and data protection and possible exposure to hackings. Blockchain technology, in contrast to this, works with a decentralized system, meaning that users can make transactions of assets without the approval of a central authority. This system is time efficient and cost effective as verification by an arbitrator no longer exists. Blockchain's process flow explains the transparency of transaction and protection of data. When a transaction is requested by a participant, a block that points specifically to that transaction is created and sent to every computer node in the network. Miners, or authorized nodes, in the network then verify the transaction and add the block to the existing blockchain. Then, the transaction is completed. The most well-known application of blockchain is NFT, which identifies an owner of a digital asset. A virtual token contains an address of a digital file including picture, video, tickets, digital artwork, or even contracts of physical assets, which thus certifies its originality and property. This token, with the work's intrinsic value stored, can protect counterfeits and provides monetary compensation for the original authorship. As can be referred from its name, NFT holds a unique value and thus cannot be exchanged with another, unlike cryptocurrencies or physical fungible money. While its existence and leverage have begun to get recognition in recent years, the beginning of blockchain's history dates to the 1990s. The pioneers of the blockchain, Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta, simply started cryptographic work as there was no developed recording system of timestamps of documents at the time. Another significant figure in blockchain history is Satoshi Nakamoto. Unknown whether Nakamoto is a person or a group of people, Nakamoto has made the greatest contribution to the Bitcoin development and prevalence of cryptocurrency. In 2008, Nakamoto introduced the first blockchain application, Bitcoin. In his published paper, he puts emphasis on enhancement of technology to strengthen digital trust given decentralization. Upon his paperwork and the technology, future generations made further developments on the applications of digital ledger technology. Vitalik Buterin, who found Bitcoin inefficient and restrictive, attempted to make a more functionalized blockchain that can perform various tasks in addition to transaction network. In 2013, he revealed a new public blockchain, Ethereum, which proved that blockchain has now enhanced to be a platform that contains many other decentralized applications that records not just monetary transaction, but other assets such as contracts. With the adoption of smart contracts, Ethereum has become one of the biggest blockchain-based platforms that record the greatest number of daily transactions. Hyperledger, a form of digital ledger with further improved reliability and performance, was devised by Linux Foundation in 2015. As many companies now put focus on digital cross-industry collaboration which require high speed of information transaction, blockchain technology industry seems to be very prospective. The history of NFT begins with various attempts of NFT artwork in the 21st century. Colored coins, created in 2012, can be said to be the first work of NFT as it is made of bitcoins. CryptoKitties, launched on Ethereum by Dapper Labs, could be considered the first NFT work on the other hand. These digital cats were the first NFT artwork to gain huge recognition, contributing to the crypto boom in 2017. Cryptocurrencies are the digital money used to purchase digital assets (NFT). Kat Simmered, a photographer, posted an image of a Hawaiian road on her Instagram account. The photo went viral in a short time and was viewed and shared through various social media platforms beyond Instagram. Simmered, however, was not compensated any credit for the property of her work. Such case shows the representative problem of parity of clicks and profit in Web 2. It is possible that some people may have generated some profit off of sharing Simmer's work on social media, while the original photographer did not get any monetary compensation. NFT would be the perfect way to address Simmer's problem. Simmered later authenticated her original photo as an NFT and put it on sale on one of the cryptocurrency's blockchain Ethereum. By doing so, Simmered could make her work original, unique, and most significantly, certified. Her photo NFT was sold for 100 ETH, which at the time was valued $303,481. Simmer's case definitely shows the merit of NFT for visual art workers whose work is hard to be converted into monetary value every time their work is seen and shared on digital platforms. Musicians, another type of artists who deal with digital properties, can also take advantage of NFT. Streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube pay musicians a very little amount of money every time their music is streamed. This makes musicians hard to make money through mere publication unless they're greatly well known. However, if musicians certify their music as an NFT, it can be monetarily dealt with, which leaves profit to the original musicians.
Blockchains and NFTs popularity. The beginning of NFTs popularity was in 2017 when CryptoKitties, a blockchain game, was launched. Until 2020, CryptoKitties were the only popular example of NFTs. However, as the market began to stabilize and grow, its popularity peaked in 2021. Now the question is, why are people crazy for NFTs and blockchains? Once again, blockchain refers to a decentralized ledger of the transaction across peer-to-peer networks, while NFT refers to non-fungible tokens, which are digital representation of unique kind of assets that are not replicated. People have been skeptical about trusting the authorized system and thus found a need for decentralization. In search for a system that does not require trust, blockchain offered a system where it provided a distributed database where it eliminated the control of the existing authorities. Moreover, unlike blockchains, traditional databases are mutable and are subject to change in transactions and value. However, blockchain is a system where the owner can prove its ownership but is immutable, which is an appealing trait for people. Also, NFT represents a single decentralized blockchain domain. Its ability to serve as cryptocurrency public addresses serves as a way for domains to transfer and receive other cryptocurrencies and tokens as payment. This characteristic of NFTs made them so intriguing to many different fields. In the field of art, rich people started to accumulate high value NFTs. In this NFT ecosystem, it is composed of smart contract developers, artists, and celebrities. The connections between creators and collectors have been tightly formed due to its simple nature. Connections are made easily as well as the transfer of the NFTs. Contrary to the traditional conventional events, digital events of NFTs are held easily and are efficiently managed, which increases the popularity of blockchains and NFTs. Furthermore, people are realizing the increasing value of NFT and its ecosystem. Since the value of these NFTs grow exponentially in value in accordance with the popularity of the blockchain system and platforms, it is enticing for people to invest in NFTs. Thus, many people become NFT buyers with the goal of making money in the long run through the development of the NFT community. Moreover, NFTs are very attractive in a sense that they hold uniqueness and authenticity in themselves. Just like how people purchase luxury items for a very high price compared to their necessities, it is proven that people are lured into luxury goods and the feeling of owning something unique and authentic. In this sense, NFTs serve this purpose perfectly. And to the next question, why are NFTs important? NFT shows growing importance as technology advances in our society. NFT holds strong intrinsic value of being an incorruptible, frictionless digital asset, which provides protection from corruptive data usage, censorship, user manipulation, and helps claim ownership. Due to this protection that NFT serves, it will play an important role in the growing development of the internet and the digital world. Moreover, NFT is important as it unifies and includes creators and sellers from other industries into one system. Lastly, it is important as it gives efficiency into the market, as it eliminates the intermediaries and the need for streamlining supply chains. It reduces the extra cost and complication. Through the simplicity that NFT holds, the market will be managed in a more efficient and productive way, which prove its importance in our future market. And so are NFT and blockchain safe? NFT and blockchains are inherently safe and secure. However, in reality, they might be subject to many security issues. NFT and blockchain cannot guarantee absolute safety of the investor's digital asset. For instance, potential security issues include spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, and lastly, elevation of privilege. To be specific, in the case of spoofing, the attacker might steal private keys and data that allows access to the assets. Moreover, in the case of denial of service, the NFT data can even become unavailable. Fortunately, there are specific measures and solutions to take so that one can avoid or solve such problems. Using formal verification on the smart contract or using privacy preserving smart contracts can be helpful in reinforcing security in NFTs.
The future of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Blockchain and cryptocurrency will become more familiar to us in the future. This is because it can freely trade without the control of the government and the central bank. And if the internet is available, it is convenient to use electronic devices like wallets. However, in order for blockchain and cryptocurrency to develop further, several conditions are required. First, there should be a safer server system. Blockchain may be safer than traditional banking systems where information is stored on a central server, but there is still a risk of hacking. In 2014, Mt. Gox lost 750,000 customers' bitcoins due to hacking, which was about 450 worth. In order for blockchain and cryptocurrency to be more active, a safe internal system that consumers can trust must be established. In addition, there is a need for a way to protect consumers of cryptocurrency by laws or regulations. The cryptocurrency has a very high volatility compared to traditional currencies, but laws and guidelines to protect consumers from cryptocurrency are still insufficient. Currently, there is no specific plan for the government to rescue the victims even if damage occurs due to blockchain or cryptocurrency in Korea. However, even if it is for the purpose of protecting victims, there are things to be careful about when creating new laws and systems. People may be indifferent to the technology if the regulations violate freedom, which is the advantage of cryptocurrency. Paul Krugman stated that regulations on the cryptocurrency industry will eliminate the distinction of cryptocurrency and will not receive public attention in the future. The future of economy with NFT and cryptocurrency. Nevertheless, NFT and cryptocurrency are meaningful in that they have opened new markets. In particular, NFT was recently been in the spotlight in the arts. Anyone connected to the block can confirm that NFT has modified or viewed the data. It is easy to prove who the owner of the NFT asset is, so even if it is an easy artwork to replicate, the owner can be clearly known. The younger generation, even teenagers, produce and sell their own NFT works and earn profits. NFT works produced by two teenagers in the US sold for $10,000 to $7,250. In addition, new funding methods have also been developed using NFT and blockchain technologies. People who participate in funding can trust each other better due to the ease of tracking the blockchain technologies, and they can reduce the risk of funding and participate more actively in funding. For example, Linkstyle purchased golf course with funds collected by issuing NFTs. The company also offered the privilege of discounting fees to those who purchase NFT. The world has opened up where it is easier for many individual investors to invest in real assets than before. It is possible to obtain greater economic effects when NFT is connected to the real economy. A changed life due to blockchain and NFT. Although we are still in the process of change, if we become more familiar with digital finance in the future, blockchain and NFT will have innovative results. Blockchain and NFT will bring many changes to our lives. The core of blockchain technology is decentralization based on peer-to-peer communication technology. Recently, companies that occupy hubs in the center of the network, such as Amazon and eBay, have taken up enormous wealth and power in the industrial sector. Blockchain technology will further activate direct commercial transactions between producers and consumers. Due to this technology, information and capital are not collected centrally and can directly connect parties without intermediary media. If blockchain technology is more commercialized than now, the power of hub platforms will be shaken and the market will face a new world. Another feature of NFT, interoperability, can expand the blockchain world. Blockchain allows our society to be connected more closely and efficiently than before. And based on this hyperconnectivity, the fourth industrial revolution will accelerate and we will face a new society.
Topic 10. The Fed announces fourth consecutive jumbo interest rate hike of 75 basis points. Explain the relationship between the interest and the price of the cryptocurrency. Before explaining it, the conclusion we found is that the jumbo interest rate hike will lead to a decrease in the price of cryptocurrency. There are two explanations to it. First, there is a negative correlation between Bitcoin and dollar. Thomas Lee, the managing partner of Fundstrat Global Advisors, claims that the change in interest rate affects the value of dollars and ultimately affects the value of Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin and dollars have a negative correlation. When the interest rate decreases, the value of the dollar depreciates. This is because the US dollar becomes less profitable compared to other foreign currencies with higher interest rates. Unlike dollars, the value of Bitcoin is likely to increase because holding assets like Bitcoin and gold, which do not offer a return, becomes relatively more attractive when there is a low interest rate. Regarding the case of the increase in interest rate, the value of the dollar appreciates. This is because the US dollar with a higher interest rate becomes more profitable than foreign currencies.
The value of Bitcoin will decrease when the interest rate increases because people have more incentive to save money and receive interest. Overall, the fourth consecutive jumbo interest rate hike is likely to lead to a decrease in the price of the cryptocurrency. The second explanation is that cryptocurrency behaves like risky assets. Although cryptocurrencies were once thought to be an asset that is safe from inflation, now it's not true. Cryptocurrencies are acting like risky assets such as stocks. Although cryptocurrencies and stocks don't always move in the same direction, the correlation between them has been increasing. When the Fed announced that it will taper the purchase of bonds and increase the interest rates, the price of cryptocurrencies fell like stocks and other risky assets. The reason why the price of risky assets falls during periods of high interest rates is because high-risk assets become less attractive. Since cryptocurrencies are like risky assets, higher interest rates will have a negative impact on the price of the cryptocurrency. Topic 11. Explain that interest rate hikes increase the chance of a recession. But first of all, what is recession? A recession is a significant, widespread, and prolonged downturn in economic activity. One of the causes of a recession is high deflation. Deflation is a fall in the overall price level in an economy. The two major causes of deflation are a decrease in aggregate demand and an increase in aggregate supply. Because interest rate hikes can lead to a decrease in aggregate demand, interest hikes can lead to deflation. When the interest rate increases, consumers and businesses are motivated to save to earn high interest instead of spending money. Also, people have to spend more on interest payments, which leads to less economic activities. People who can't afford the consumption or payment of business projects will postpone spending money. Because the demand for products decreases and the desire to save increases, inflation will be lowered when the interest rate hikes. However, the chance of a recession will increase due to the deflation caused by interest hikes. In fact, most recessions in the United States that happened after the Great Depression followed the interest rate hikes.
The question for problem number 12 is guess what will get more expensive in our life. I picked two prices which will get more expensive in our life. The first is oil prices. Russia is the world's third largest producing country of crude oil after Saudi Arabia and the United States, and it also ranks first in oil exports in the world. However, in March, as the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, the United States banned Russian crude oil imports. Recently, the European Union has agreed to reduce Russian crude oil imports by 90% by the end of this year as well. Not only did the supply of crude oil decrease, but Saudi Arabia decided to raise the selling price of crude oil in July, which encouraged the increase in oil prices. Moreover, China, the largest oil consumption market, has recently lifted the blockade, contributing to the rise in oil prices as demand explodes. In this sense, international oil prices are highly likely to become expensive due to the lack of oil supply and political uncertainty. The second price is grain prices. Oil prices could also affect the increase in grain prices. Prices of energy raw materials such as oil, gas, and coal affect the prices of grain production, accompanied by higher grain prices. Most fertilizers used to increase crop production are made from natural gas. Operating agricultural equipment or transportation of harvest crops also uses oil. The sharp rise in oil prices in the Russia-Ukraine war could directly or indirectly affect production costs, resulting in a rise in grain prices as well. Agflation, a combination of agricultural inflation and agricultural prices, has begun. Then what about Korea? Considering that the rise in international grain prices is usually reflected in Korea prices with a time difference of 4 to 7 months, the high price trend is expected to continue. International food prices are expected to remain high for a considerable period due to the Russia and Ukraine war and restrictions on food exports by major producing countries, and in the case of Korea, high dependence on imports of food other than rice could lead to expensive imported food. The question for problem number 13 is forecast the future direction of interest rate. So before answering the question, I would like to introduce policies that Korea and the US carried out and extra information about each country's interest rate these days. Recently, the Bank of Korea carried out a new policy called Big Step to stabilize the economy. Big Step is a policy that raises the benchmark interest by 0.5% at a time. Similarly, there is a policy called Giant Step, which raises the benchmark interest by 0.75% at a time. The background of this policy is as follows. In terms of Korea, after COVID-19, while the Bank of Korea cut the benchmark interest rate and came up with various economic stimulus policies to cope with the economic recession, the consumer price inflation rate exceeded 3% in October 2021. Since then, Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, thereby energy prices to soar and a strong inflation trend has continued with the rise in consumer prices, which was recorded at 6.3% in July 2022. In response, as the upward trend of inflation became stronger in 2022, the Bank of Korea raised the benchmark interest rate 4 times in a row from April to August, and the market interest rates rose sharply. Next, let's look at the background of the US. US benchmark interest rate was maintained at 0 to 0.25%, which was reduced by 150 basis point in March 2020 due to the spread of COVID-19, but as the unexpected high inflation trend was prolonged, 225 basis point was raised from March to July, including giant steps 2 times. The US has been on the steepest upward inflation trend since 1982, with energy, food or used cars, and consumer prices rising to 9.1% in June 2022. Considering the situation, it is expected that the US will enforce a retrenchment policy to stabilize the high inflation trend. Given the Bank of Korea's will to stabilize the price and retrenchment policy of major countries, it is expected that the interest rates will continue to rise for the time being. As the Bank of Korea states that it's necessary to continue its policy response to prevent the sticking of high prices despite the forecast of economic slowdown, it is expected to continue raising the benchmark interest rate by at least the end of 2022. However, as the Bank of Korea predicted that the interest burden on households and firms will increase due to the big step, we can also expect that a steep rise in interest rate will put a burden on the public. Thank you for listening.